So just following on from my recent video regarding how I lost 76,000. This one is about the client who changed everything. So it's the same project. So I've worked in construction since 2003. So over the years, I've worked with some fantastic clients, some difficult clients, and everything between. But there was one client who completely changed way that I run projects today. At the time, I thought I understood project management. I've been running projects since the age of 21 for the firm that I did my apprenticeship with. The foreman and project manager retired, so I took over very, very young. So I've learnt the hard way. So I've had years of site experience in running the projects. I've managed renovations, extensions, high-end residential projects. And I believe that if you worked hard, solved problems, and kept the client happy, everything would work out. Then I met the client who changed everything. The project started like many others. The clients, they were enthusiastic. They had the visions for their home. They wanted quality. They wanted the best finishes. And they had the budget. At the start, budget is no option. On paper, they were exactly the kind of client every contractor wants. Polite. We're all exchanging different stories of all of our experiences. And the early stages of the project went well. Every week they would just visit site. My team was there. Everyone was, we all had the chats and the laughs and the giggles. The meetings were productive. Decisions were being made very quick. I said to the client, this is brilliant. As soon as we need to know anything, bang, there we go. Got the decision. Boys can carry on, get the task completed. And everyone was positive. And then months into the project, something was changing. Small changes became regular changes. The door would move. The door would be in one position. Electricians would wire it. What people don't realise is when you move a door, it's not just the door. It's the construction involved with that. It's the door lining. The electrical has gone in. We normally put the boxes for the light switches, say 200 mil, move the door. So not only is the door being moved, we're now having to rewire for the light switches as well, filling up the walls. We got the room layout changed constantly. Like I said before, 13 different designs we had just for an ensuite. There was 5-6 bathrooms in this place. The specification changed for the fittings. The lighting design changed. The changes didn't seem significant. In fact, all us builders, we're used to it. The clients changing their minds. It's part of the job. We adapt. We can adapt very quickly. The problem wasn't the change. The problem was the frequency of the changes. Every week, there was something new. Every decision created another decision. And every alteration had a knock-on effect somewhere else down the line. It was just kept on moving forward, moving forward. So what should have been a straightforward process became a moving target. The architects couldn't keep up. They were out the loop. It should have been client speaks to the architect. On this project, the architect, they did a contract build. So they were contracts administrators. So all of our changes should have come from them in writing. The drawings couldn't keep up. The program couldn't keep up. And eventually neither could the budget. At the time, I kept trying to help. And every problem had a solution. I believe that being flexible was good customer service. Yes, nothing was too much problem. We could do anything. Anything was possible. They said the budget was there, and don't worry about it. Let's just make it perfect. This is our forever home, you know. So looking back, that's where I was wrong because I wasn't managing the client. I was reacting to the client, and there's a big difference. One day I realized, something important. The project was no longer being controlled by drawings or specifications, or in fact, the programs. At the start, it was all about the program. I had it, the client, the architects, they were very keen to keep on top of the program, but then the changes started. The emotions and the change in the opinions were just out of control. The program was just, it was running away. That is a dangerous place for any construction project to be. The more changes that happen, and more frustrated everyone became. The clients were really frustrated. Like I mentioned in the previous video, check it out. The design team, they were frustrated. Everyone was almost, if you like, slagging each other off. It was just to and fro between everybody. It was just awful situation. My team constantly concerned. We're building this twice. We're changing this. We're changing that. What do they want? Architect would say one thing, client would say another. And the project became harder and harder to deliver successfully. But eventually we completed the work. We pushed through. There were a lot of silences on site when the clients were around. But even still, we stayed professional. Everyone, like I said to the team, stay professional. Let's be productive. But the experience left a lasting impression on me. The lesson wasn't the clients are difficult. Most clients are not. They're a pleasure to work with. The lesson was that a good project management sometimes means we have to say no. We have to just lay everything out on the line and say it is just not worth what you're trying to achieve is not worth it. Today I handle projects very differently. Every change is documented. Every variation is priced separately and agreed. And every instruction is confirmed. And most importantly, I explain the consequences of the decisions before they're made. If a client wants to make a change, that's absolutely their choice. It's their property. They really can have whatever they want. Everything's unique to them. Every project's different. But they also need to understand the impact on the cost, the program, and other trades. The client who changed everything taught me that managing a project is not just about managing construction. It's about managing expectations, because the most successful projects aren't always the ones with the biggest budgets. We've worked for extremely sort of wealthy clients, right way down to the smaller end of the scale, the smaller projects. They're the ones where everybody understands the plan and they stick to the plan. And that's a lesson I've carried with me ever since. It's all in the details. I had a client just the other day saying, what's different? You're all about the details. Even when we're pricing up a small job, a couple of grand, again, approve it. There's a design. Now we've got AI, we can use imaging as well. So approve the image. This is what we can build. Approve the image. Approve the works. That's how much it's going to be. That's how long it's going to take. Do you agree with the works? Do you agree with the specification? And eventually you should get an answer. Then you can program it all in for a successful project. So again, like I said in a previous video, check it out. Document everything. Make sure the paperwork is up to scratch. Even if it's every couple of days, Do your budget, do the variations, even if it's on a spreadsheet, have your measured work. It's what we call the measured work. So that's everything that has an actual figure. So that's not your provisional sums, that's your measured work. And then underneath your VO1, VO2, and so forth, all your variations, a short description, or be as detailed as you want. Include your labor, include your materials, and a duration. And then how we do it is the measured work, the agreed contract sum always sits above my VOs. And underneath will be the running total, and it will just keep every VO, it will just change. So the client, at any point, someone says, where are we at? You could be in a meeting, it could just be a stop off, just a brief. Client could walk in, the management or the architectural team, the administrators, whoever, can walk in, where are we at? Where's the program? And it's because effectively it's a live spreadsheet. So every day, every VO goes on there and that total changes every time and everybody has access to it. There's nothing to hide. From that, you can do all your evaluations from that. It can be uploaded onto the same spreadsheet. So all your percentages or your takeoffs can all be input. So you can just see the running total will always change with a variation or an evaluation. And it's so clear everyone can see it and work from it. So again, I hope this video helps for your sort of the managing and the programming of your projects. Again, please subscribe. It does help. I'm new to all this, and I just want to share my stories from my past projects and future projects. So thumbs up. I hope you like.